We took the conversation away from us here in the studios. We talked to some of my colleague journalists who have been a part of the first round, and their assessment from the preview, the review, and the games that they have witnessed. Let's take a listen to some of my colleagues who thought the first round, I should say, was equally phenomenal.
My description of the first round of the season would be inconsistency. A lot of the teams in the Ghana Premier League this season, the first round, have been very inconsistent with performances and results. It is why the most consistent team is the team at the top. When you see Kotoko play, they've kept a certain level of consistency about them, but there was a point where Kinfesa were right up there, but they lost 4 games in a row. They dropped. Aduana Stars the same. They had a good spell. They lost a couple of games. They dropped. Olympics had a spell of theirs. They dropped as well. Then Mediama picked up some spell. So none of the teams in the Ghana Premier League has really been able to put consistent performance together over a stretch of 5 games. The only team that has been able to do that, or 2 teams that have been able to do that, is Kotoko and Bechem United. That is why the table reads as it reads. A credit to Kotoko and Prosper Nati Ogun for what they've done. Last season, for most of the signings that came through the door, none of them could really settle in. Latif Alabina couldn't settle in. Sosakwa couldn't settle in. Kayake couldn't settle in. All of these players struggled, and Kumi, when he came through to replace Kwame Poku, just couldn't settle in well. But this season, for all the players who have come through the door, most of them who have come through the door, they seem to have been able to settle in really well. Isaac Open had an incredible start. Sorry to him for the injury. You've seen players like Lamte come through. The midfield has been superb. Buedu has been superb. Mohamed Sharif has been superb for them. The young chap on the right back has been brilliant. Etuga and Mfege have all been brilliant for Kotoko because they've settled well and they've played as they've been consistent with performances and results, and it's why they are where they are. So if you ask me what I think of the first round of the season, I think it's in a season of inconsistency for most of the teams in the league.
Interesting first round. I would say this is one of the best seasons we've had in terms of first round performance. Frankie Tuga Mbella, Cameroon International, leading the top scorer with 11 goals. He just needs to score against Hatufuk on Sunday to make a record for himself, and that is a good one from the striker. And you look at the entire season, Kotoko doing very well. Last season, you compare points accumulated in the first round, you could clearly tell that there's vast difference. We had 28 points as at last season after first round, which is Karela United were on top. But then this season we have Kotoko with 36 points. It should tell you that this time around the points gap, points accumulated in the first round is very high, and that is what is making the league very interesting. You look at the top 4, you have Kotoko, Bechem United, we have Great Olympics, and we have Aduana Stars. Olympics has not been consistent, Aduana have not been consistent. Bechem United, their last 10 games are yet to lose a game. And you look at Kotoko's form, winning home and away. For me, I think in the first round we've had the best in terms of goal scoring, assists. We have a total number of goals accumulated, home wins and away wins and all that. So for me, I think we've had the best so far in the GPL.
The first round of the Ghana Premier League has been wonderful. I mean, it's been very interesting. I mean, we have some good games. We've seen some great talent. Talking about Isaac Opon of Asante Kotoko. I mean, that first game he played against Dreams FC was fantastic. That was the one of the Ghana Premier League. We saw Abdul Fattah Isahako, who is now no more with Dreams FC, but he started the league very well, playing very well. And you can talk about the 2 Cameroonians that have joined Asante Kotoko, George Mfege and then Frank Thierry Mbella and Tuga. These guys have been good, and it's been a very long time we've seen such a striker in the Ghana Premier League. I mean, after 16 games already, he had 11 goals. I mean, that's phenomenal. It's incredible. He's done very well. Umar Bashiru of Karela Football Club, he's been also fantastic. You have Salim Adams of Hatufuk and a couple of other players around. David Abagna Sagna of RTU. The league have been very good, with the exception of 1 or 2 things that haven't gone well. We can talk about the officiating. We need to improve officiating a notch higher. And then the pitch, some of the pitches that, matches have been playing on. I mean, it's not good for the players. You could pick an injury when the pitch is not that good, and it's one way or the other destabilizes the formation that the coach wants to play. is also an example. The name of the pitch is Golden City, but there's nothing golden about that pitch. You have to do a lot of things about that. So in all, I would say it's been very good. Last season, after the first round, the league leaders that was Kaila. They were around 29 points. Now we have Asante Kotoko that have more than 30 points after the first round. They have even a game in hand against Hartlepool this Sunday. So it's been good.
I mean, after 17 round of games, what else can we ask for? I mean, there's more room for improvement, but looking at the statistics, looking at the performance of players, the goals we've seen and all that, what I can say is that it's been a wonderful first round. I mean, where Kotoko started from, they are the league leaders now. I mean, people want us to say that they are runaway league champions. Well, there's a second round to be played, but the recruitment they did, and people not giving them that those chance to be on top of the table now because they're second division players we didn't know, Tuga, from Cameroon, together with his counterpart from Cameroon, they are doing so well, combining together for like 15 goals, and it's wonderful. I mean, but Hartlepool were defending champions. No, they are the defending champions. Where they are now is not where people expected them to be, but looking at the recruitment they did, some of the players they lost, some decisions they've done that has cost them. But hey, this is Hartlepool. We wait to see what happens in the second round. Bechem United has also done so well. Bechem, looking at their position on the table, I would say kudos to them. Dreams FC did so well. They were getting some results, and their coach was sacked. They were doing well at home. 1 or 2 losses here and there. Certain coaches also have lost their jobs, but it doesn't take away the fact that I've enjoyed every bit of the first round. The only problem has been the quality of pitches. It makes coverage very poor. I mean, some of the pitches, no better thing to talk about that. I mean, go to Dreams. Sometimes go to Tamale. I think the club licensing did a good job, but afterwards, how did our clubs take care of the pitches? That has been our problem. It adds some kind of beauty to the game. So pitches have been poor. Certain bad decisions on the part of referees here and there. Kotoko have complained before. Certain clubs have complained before, but I know the appropriate authorities will deal with that. So I'm hoping for a better second round, more room for improvement. I mean, the likes of Salif Ibrahim is injured. When it comes to assist, he's done so well. When you go to Kumasi Asante Kotoko, there was a player called Fabio Gama, who everybody was all over him last season. This season, injuries haven't been fair to him. But this season, Kotoko seems to have depth in squad. And so it is helping them so well. No wonder they're on top of the table. Let's see how House of Hope respond in the second round. More room for improvement. It's been a wonderful first round.